Hello everyone, this is AndresRestart, and a huge update for Mario Kart World just dropped. Effectively, Nintendo has just announced a free DLC pass for Mario Kart World. Now, it's not like we're getting a whole bunch of completely new tracks, but there are some interesting variations happening here. We are getting new Knockout Tour Rallies, and more are to come, and I do think there are some very interesting implications here for further DLC coming down the road as well. And so there's some very interesting stuff here that I want to get into today and just talk about how cool these improvements are, because they are very cool and Mario Kart World is the best it's ever been. Now, before diving into things here, let me just remind you all, I'm getting very close to 60,000 subscribers. I'm hoping to hit this goal soon, so if you find yourself enjoying my videos and you haven't subscribed already, I would very much appreciate your subscription. So Nintendo of Europe announced hours ago 2 new Knockout Tour Rallies have been added to Mario Kart World. Race the Drill Rally and Boomerang Rally now, with more coming in the future. Plus, you can now add stickers you've collected to your photos. So in photo mode, there are stickers. That's neat. Honestly, I don't care that much about it, but if it's something you want to play around with, you can do that. What I really care about here are the 2 Knockout Tour Rallies they've added. And as you see here, there are question marks for 6 more. And so I'm kind of left thinking, are they going to be adding 2 new Knockout Tours per every big update? So at 1.8, will there be 2 more, then 1.9, and then at 2.0? Because I'm kind of left thinking that once we get to 2.0, that's when Nintendo's going to announce like the paid expansion pass. Which I think would make a lot of sense actually if once we get to 2.0, they have the last batch of free content coming to Mario Kart World, and then they're like, hey, here's now the paid content, which is actually new tracks. Maybe they do what we've talked about before, where they add like bigger islands that are entirely new areas with new content that you can have even more knockout tours, even more Grand Prix, things like that. So that's what I'm kind of left thinking in terms of the timeline here. But in the meanwhile, over the next few months, we're going to be getting continued updates in Mario Kart World with these different knockout tours. And playing through them, I think it's really cool. This is something we theorized they would do a while back, because you look at the open world of Mario Kart, there are so many different possibilities here. There are so many different tracks. All they have to do is just go in a different direction, have a different route. Now, I imagine there'll have to be some minor changes, modifications to make these different routes work, but now we're seeing Nintendo is doing that. They're going to be doubling the amount of knockout tours in this game within this same continent, within this same map here. And some of you might think that that's not really anything too substantial, but I beg to differ. Playing through them, they do feel like new experiences. Not so much new that it's like you're playing on an entirely completely different track, but simply doing a different route, racing through the world of Mario Kart from a different angle, seeing these places from a different perspective, and seeing them connect in different ways, it does feel fresh. I'm playing knockout tours I am unaccustomed to. There's more variation here, and that's been really fun for me. So for example, I'm racing through here and I find this giant vine that I've only noticed during just kind of racing around the open world of Mario Kart, not in a knockout tour, not in a Grand Prix, and there it is as an option to kind of get onto. You zip through that, you're taken higher up into the air, you get more coins, and then there is like a boost ring that sends you flying over just the expanse beyond you. And that's a cool thing that I have not seen in any of these knockout tours yet, that instance right there. And so there's little moments like that you see throughout. I also noticed some branching paths as well, like there's a river to one side and just a track to the other. And so similar to other knockout tour rallies, there are going to be kind of some varying routes here and there, adding just to the variety and the different choices you can make. Something else to speak on here is the balance. It feels like they've actually tinkered with things here. Actually, as reported by Mankalore on Twitter here, it said, the biggest change with the item system in Mario Kart World's 1.7.0 update is that for the first 20 seconds, everyone pulls mid-pack items, minus most attack items. For example, first place pulls 5th out of 12 or 24 player items, allowing triple mushrooms and booze. Running got a huge buff. So I can kind of see how this can make a big difference. Some people could really pull away early on, but it is only for the first 20 seconds. Still though, that can certainly impact how people go about playing this game. Now, something that I kind of noticed just playing through the Knockout Tour Rallies a few different times, I actually found it a little bit harder to get first place. Maybe it's just me, maybe it's because I haven't been playing Mario Kart lately, but I felt like there's a little bit of challenge there in terms of hitting first. Like, I just kind of felt a little bit more resistance with first place, and maybe I just had some bad luck in the runs I did with this latest update, but I only saw one blue shell the entire time, and it was only the time that I got into first place. I didn't see the comms get hit once, and there were a couple times for minutes at a time, like going through multiple sections where first place was just pulling away. They never got slammed with anything even once, and I would just get triple red shell. Again, it could be a small sample size, but in this brief experience I've had, playing through it a few different times after this update, I did personally feel like maybe they made getting first a little bit harder in the Knockout Tour Rallies when playing against the computers. Which, just for the record, for me, is a good thing. I like challenge in my games, so I'm totally fine with that. Of course, I was playing on 150cc. I assume if you play on the lower CCs, it is certainly easier if you're not really that interested in increased difficulty. And so this is some pretty cool stuff here. Nintendo has continued to update and iterate upon with Mario Kart World. I understand there have been a lot of criticisms for Mario Kart World. People have been very vocal about it. And I've said this before, but I'll make the point again. I don't think it's fair to look at Mario Kart World the way we look at Mario Kart 8 Deluxe now. Because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe now has had years and years of updates and has been improved upon repeatedly. Mario Kart 8 came out back on the Nintendo Wii U in 2014. It's had multiple DLC waves. It's had a deluxe improvement as well. Like initially, the battle mode in Mario Kart 8 was complete garbage. In comparison, the battle mode in Mario Kart World is substantially better. And so the improvements to the battle mode in Mario Kart 8 didn't come until we got the deluxe version on Switch 1 a few years later. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe came out April 2017. Almost 3 whole years later did we see that substantial update to Mario Kart 8. Now, there was DLC and we got tracks not even a year after the game came out, but Mario Kart World from day one is a larger game than Mario Kart 8 at day one. You have an entire open world to race through with knockout tours and the Grand Prix. And for free, since Nintendo has been improving on things. They've even changed around some of the tracks, improving upon them. They've given us quality of life updates to understand what's going on within the world and to help us find all the collectibles more. They've made the UFOs more common so we can run into them because they're such a cool little feature in the world, but a lot of people might miss it. And now they're adding a series of Knockout Tour Rallies for free. 8 total is what we're going to be getting here, and now we have these 2 new ones which are fun to play and you can play right now. And it's a cool little surprise that we've gone just a few weeks after the big Nintendo Direct. I know a lot of people were hoping to see DLC announced then. I was one of them. But as I brought up briefly earlier, I do think Nintendo probably does want to be somewhat calculated about how they announce this big paid expansion to Mario Kart World, where there's going to be new content, like totally brand new tracks, Grand Prix, likely in different new areas, because that's kind of like the only way I imagine it could work. Mario Kart World came out as an $80 game, and so announcing paid DLC too soon after is certainly going to leave a bad taste in the mouths of many. And so Nintendo hasn't done that yet. They've been doing a lot of free updates. Now they're giving us these knockout tours for free. I think Nintendo is really trying to sell people on the package of Mario Kart World as is and just adding more to it, making it more valuable, which I think is great. So for free, you're going to have 16 knockout tours once it's all said and done, in conjunction with everything else, of course. But I also feel like Nintendo is doing this to soften the blow for when the time does come when they do announce the paid DLC, because it will be paid DLC. What we've been talking about here in terms of what it's going to take to have new tracks in the game, when you consider the structure of what Mario Kart World is, it's going to need to be substantial. It's not going to be like with Mario Kart 8 where they announce it and then you just go to the menu, you pick a Grand Prix, oh look, there's a new Grand Prix, and you're right there playing through the tracks. No, because the way Mario Kart World works, everything is integrated. It's all within one giant world. And so in order to offer the dramatic new content here where we have new tracks in new areas, they're going to literally need to create new areas to the game. So the development of this DLC likely is also taking longer, which may also play into why we haven't seen it announced yet. And it's also probably going to be more expensive too. I'm not saying when Nintendo announces the paid DLC, it's going to be like the price of just buying the whole game again, but this is going to be more resource intensive than the DLC we saw for Mario Kart 8 when it was on Wii U, or even the Booster Course Pass on Switch 1. And so in the meanwhile, Nintendo gives us all this free stuff, they continue to do so. That's gonna be fun, but I don't think this is like the final big update. This is just a little bit of stuff until we get to the bigger things, and I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo continues to iterate upon Mario Kart World throughout the Switch 2 generation. It's their big launch title, it's continuing to sell. I think keeping the game relevant for years to come is probably the smartest move they can do with this game. And so once it's all said and done, there will come a day where I think most people are going to look at Mario Kart World and come to realize it is a substantially bigger and more valuable package than Mario Kart 8. Right now, might be a little bit hard to see it because you just see all the content that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has now, especially after they doubled the amount of tracks with the Booster Course Pass, but that was years later. Mario Kart World, once it's all said and done, I feel really good about saying is going to be even bigger, more exciting package. But I'm just really excited that we have these new knockout tours. Nice, cool surprise. I didn't expect to see new content this soon after it wasn't announced in the Direct, but I do feel like this maybe gives us a little bit of a roadmap. Perhaps by that 2.0 update for Mario Kart World, that's when they announced the big paid expansion. So we're probably less than a year away, hopefully even sooner than that. But what do you all think? Let me know in the comments below. This is AndresRestart. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I will see you all really soon. Take care. Bye.